Howling Threads with River and the Sea off of their debut EP. And I now have on the phone with us Matt Houston of Howlin' Threads. Matt, thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, good on you, Ryan. Thanks for having me, mate.
Absolute pleasure. Always talking to musicians like yourself. Now, we will be talking all about the EP very shortly, but to kick things off, Matt, can you tell us a bit about the Howling Threads? Who are you guys?
Howlin' Threads, we're three guys that we've played music for years, and we've come together over the last couple of years and formed the Howlin' Threads. We, as life takes over, we're a bit older, we're in our 40s now, but played through the 90s, and we kind of found that as life takes over, you kind of at a loose thread as a musician, and sometimes that music side of you has to take a bit of a break. So that's kind of where we got the name Howlin' Threads from. Actually, we wanted it to be the Threads, but that name was taken. So thinking of guitars and thinking of the noise we like to make, the wailing of the sound of guitars and whatnot.
Yeah.
We settled on Howlin' Threads because we wanted howling guitars and three guys at a loose thread coming together, and the universe put us on the right track again.
I love that. I did see a good description of your music online as a sonic explosion best served loud. How good is that?
Yeah, turn it up.
So you kind of say that you've been playing since the 90s together, but now we're just releasing our debut EP just recently. So what kind of spurred you on to sort of get the music produced and out there now?
Oh, look, we've actually been rehearsing for a couple of years, and as you mentioned before, I'm based in Wollongong, and the other guys are based in around Canberra. And so it's been a bit of a slow process, being able to rehearse and write songs, and you kind of need to be in the same room sometimes to get that magic to happen. But we've persevered, and we've been pushing to get this CD finished for a little while now. And the thing that actually pushed it over the line was COVID. It kind of gave us that chance to step back. We couldn't sort of play gigs, we couldn't drive and rehearse and whatnot. So the thing we could focus on was the CD. So we managed to get the mastering done, the everything engineered that needed to be done, get the artwork sorted out, and have the product in our hot little hands ready to give to everyone. What we can't do now is play to support it.
Well, dare I say, in terms of COVID, and it's been the same with a lot of artists that we've spoken to here at 2XX, but it's silver lining, shall I say. I think that kind of, with everything going into lockdown, taking that step back and sort of refining the music and getting new stuff out there, it has provided you that opportunity, hasn't it?
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely look for the silver linings. We could have sat back and said, okay, we can't play, we can't do anything. We're kind of stuck for a while, but we really embraced that chance to breathe, which I know a lot of other people have done as well, and a lot of good has come from it. I know it's not the best situation, but a lot of people have made changes and have started looking at things differently, and we kind of did that too. Rather than look at what we can't do, we looked at what we could do. And I really love the online gigs that have been happening too. Every Monday I like to tune in and watch Steve Kilby from the church. He has one that just goes every Monday from 6 till 7, and he plays an album in whole, or he plays new music, and just that big connection that people are kind of making at the moment. It's been so beautiful to watch.
Is there any danger of the Howling Threads doing a live stream anytime soon?
Mate, there is absolutely no danger of doing that at the moment. But we actually have thought about it. It's something we can look at down the track. I hope these things kind of don't go by the wayside once it gets back to normal.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So we are talking debut EP. I'm going to play another song off of that. It's going to be Superstar. I was just wondering if you can tell me a little bit about it before I play it.
Yeah, Superstar. I won't say too much because it's good to leave a little bit of mystery and let people kind of
how elusive of you.
Yeah. But being that we're very much a rock and roll band, so rock and roll has always been a rebellious, or viewed as a rebellious type of music. And so this song in particular is about being someone that's been told what they can and can't do over, a certain amount of time, and then them cutting loose that narcissistic influence to kind of create their own destiny. So they become a superstar.
I love that. That's fantastic. If you're just tuning in, we are talking to Matt Houston of the Howlin Threads. We're going to listen to another track from their debut EP. Do stick around after the song. We still will be we'll be continuing that chat with Matt Houston. But here it is now, Superstar. Superstar by the Howlin Threads. And we have Matt Houston of the Howlin Threads on the line with us now. Thanks again, Matt, for joining us.
Thank you.
So that Superstar off, as I said, a debut EP. And you said it a little earlier in our chat that you're currently living in Wollongong and then the other two guys are in Canberra. So how does that collaborative process work for you when you're producing this EP?
Usually what happens is I drive to Canberra.
You do all the heavy lifting?
I do the heavy lifting, yeah. No, we've got a pretty good setup. I'll drive to Canberra and we'll rehearse usually maybe every second week to a month. But then we send each other files all the time through Dropbox, and we're kind of always thinking and coming up with different ideas and pushing songs in different ways. And then when we get together, we just kind of, jam them out again and let's take form that way.
What a beautiful process. And also, God bless Dropbox, am I right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, makes life so much easier.
In terms of the music itself, so there's three of you in the group. Is there anyone that sort of drives the creative side a little bit more, or is it just a mutual kind of jamming out to get these songs out there?
Yeah, look, Dylan's very much a leader in terms of songwriting for us. When we actually started, Dylan contacted me and said, hey, I've got these songs, would you like to add some bass to it? And the view was just to record it for ourselves and have a bit of fun, because we miss doing the music. And in that time, Dylan had also started jamming with our drummer, Adam. So once we started getting together and kind of jam the songs out and me adding my parts and Adam putting his in, the songs evolved very much through Dylan's songs. And he's quite the riff master, songwriter. He's got a ton of them. So
he's the man.
He's the man that kind of kicks the ball off, and we kind of just evolve, which is great. I love hearing songs evolve. They start off sounding one way, and once everyone sort of comes together and puts their 2 cents worth in, it just changes. Even when you get to the recording and mixing, mastering stage, until you've got that final product, it's still evolving up until that point.
Are there any songs on this EP where you've kind of started off thinking it was going to be one thing, and then when it came out at the very end, it was just a completely different track? Well,
Superstar started off very differently. The very first introductory bit to that song sounded completely different when we started, and then, as a lot of things do, when you're kind of jamming, you kind of stumble across things that sound good. And someone will go, oh, hell, that sounds really cool. We need to put that in there somewhere. So, Start a Superstar, it came about like that. And sometimes the third song starts with bass and drums. And yeah, that one started again completely different when we first started playing it. But in all, they all sound pretty similar to how Dylan had envisaged them, I think.
And in terms of the EP, I love talking this EP. It's such a banger. Every single track on it. Is there anything in particular like a heavy influence came towards this EP? Any sort of people that inspired you and your music that sort of translate through this EP?
Yeah, look, I think the one thing, like, we're pretty broad in terms of music that we like and we're influenced by as a group, but the one kind of key style, if you like, would be bands like the MC5 and the Stooges, Radio Birdman, New Christ, anything that Dennis Beck and Rob Younger have been involved in. We kind of take our basis from that. So we kind of put ourselves in that Aussie rock 80s, 90s vein, and I think that comes through
Yes, it definitely does. I can confirm.
Yeah, and one of the highlights for us too is we got the EP mastered by Bruce Calloway, who was one time a guitarist in the Saints, and at his Broken Knee studio, which is in Canberra.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a bit of a buzz for us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So we do have to leave now, but before we go, for people who are listening back home and enjoying what they are hearing blasting out through the airwaves right now, how can we get more of it? How can we follow you and download or buy the CD, the EP?
Yeah, look, the EP at the moment is only available through Mineshaft Records. So Shafty, who is the guy that signed us to Mineshaft, is handling all the orders at the moment. So if you'd like a copy of it, you'd have to go to Mineshaft Records.
And they're on Facebook as well as a website?
They're on Facey and on Instagram as well.
All the socials.
Records. All the socials, yeah. The only thing we don't have at the moment is a website. We kind of stick to Instagram and Facebook. So you just look up Howlin Threads and you'll find us on there. But if anyone wants to order, you can email Mineshaft Records. And the PO box for there is Mineshaft Records, PO Box 610, Yass 2582. So quite a bizarre place for a record label to be based in Yass. But hey, why not?
Exactly.
You're only limited by your access to the digital world now, aren't you?
That's it. I'd say yes to that. Hey, there's a bad pun for you, just to finish it off.
No,
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me, Matt. Best of luck with the debut EP. If you can do me one last favour, I'm going to play Body Movin'. Would you mind introducing it for me?
Yeah, I sure will. And thanks very much for reviewing us, Ryan. Really appreciate that. So this is Body Movin', Howlin Threads, and Turn It Up Loud.
There we go. Body Movin' by Howlin Threads. Enjoy.